With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello. So question is saying this: the increasing order of basicity for the following intermediate, right? So from weak to strong, right? So first we have to arrange the weakest, right? And then we have to finally we have to arrange the strongest, right? So that means first come weak, then in the last that comes strong, right? So now we have to arrange the basicity order, right? So that means what do we mean by base, right? So base is the kind of species, right? So which donates its lone pair, right? So which donates its lone pair, right? That means I can say this a base, or you can say that it's a Lewis base, right? So Lewis base, right? So the definition of Lewis base is that which donates lone pair, right? So donate lone pair, right? Lone pair of electron, right? So which donates the lone pair of electron, right? So that means, and what do we mean by good base? A good base which donates the lone pair of electron is very easily, right? So in this carbon ion, right? So in the set of this carbon, we have to find out the basicity order, right? So let's try to solve it, right? So we have this, you can say this, we have this tertiary carbon ion, right? So that is CH3 over here, right? And again this is CH3 over here, right? And this is also CH3 over here, right? So now at this carbon there is a negative charge over here. At this carbon there is a negative charge over here, right? So now you can see this methyl group, right? So this methyl group is an electron donating group, right? So that means it donates electron through plus I effect, right? So through plus I effect, right? So it donates electron through plus I effect. That means plus I over here, plus I over here, and plus I over here, right? So that means there are 3 plus I are acting on this carbon. That means this negative charge of these electrons can donate, right? Very easily, right? So that means it can act as a very strong base, right? So now you can see here there is also regarding this plus I, we have also a 9 alpha hydrogen. You can say the alpha conjugation effect, right? So hyperconjugation effect is also taking place, right? So it has a very, you can say it has a very high basicity, right? It has a high basic character, right? So now this is our first intermediate. Now if we talk about the second intermediate, the second intermediate is a, you can see here it is an allylic system, right? So that is, you can see here that is CH2 double bond over here, right? So CH2 double bond C H and CH2, right? And this is carbon ion, right? So this is primary carbon ion, and you can say this is, you can say allylic, right? Allylic system, right? So now in this system there is a resonance over here, right? So that means this negative charge will go here, then this negative charge, the bond shift like this, right? So that means due to the resonance, right? So due to the resonance, the basicity or basic character decreases, right? So the basic character decreases, right? So that means I can say this, in case if I compare the first and second, that means the first one will be the highest basic character than the second one, right? So because in this case mesomeric effect or the resonance effect is taking place, right? So that means this negative charge is participating in the conjugation, right? So now if we talk about the third one, right? So if we talk about the third one is here, you can say alkyne, right? So that is CH here, and this is triple bond over here, right? So this is triple bond over here, and there is a negative charge over here, right? So as we know that this carbon is sp hybridized, right? So this carbon is sp hybridized due to this triple bond, right? So that means structurally linear. So this is sp hybridized, right? And we know that as the percentage of s character increases, right? So the electronegativity increase. That means in this sp hybridization there is 50% s character, right? So 50% s character, right? So as a result, electronegativity of this carbon increases, which results in the holding power of this negative charge also increases, right? So that means it cannot donate the electron very easily. That means it cannot act as a good base, right? So it cannot act as good base, right? So this is the story of third one, right? So now if I talk about fourth, right? So if I talk about fourth, so you can see here in the fourth there is over here only methyl, right? So only methyl, right? So and there is a negative charge over here. So there is no other group, so it can act as a good base, right? So it can act as a good base, right? So but here you can see this. Here this is a very strongest base, right? So no, you can see because there are plus I effect over here, because there is no effect over here, so it can act as a base, right? So and this is the story of, you can say, fourth intermediate, right? So now if we talk about the, you can see here, if we talk about the cyanide one, right? So that is cyanide. So you can see here there is also a triple bond over here, and there is a negative charge over here, right? So now you can see here this triple bond, that means this carbon is also sp3 hybridized, right? And that means its electronegativity also increase, which results in the increase in the holding power of this negative charge. And along with this, you can see there is a carbon over here, and there is a carbon over here, right? But here there is a nitrogen, and nitrogen, we know that nitrogen has a more electronegativity as compared to carbon. So that means overall this negative charge will be stabilized on this species, right? So that means it cannot donate its electron very easily, right? So that means it cannot act as a good base, right? So its basicity will be very low, right? So this is our fifth species, right? So if I arrange it, right? So if I arrange it, the weakest base will be the fifth, that is cyanide 1, right? And after this, you can say the strongest after the base, after the strongest, you can say in the, if I arrange it in increasing order, after this, so this will be here, right? So this is the third one, right? This alkyne system, right? So this will be the third one, right? So, and after this, you can see here, after this second one, right? So because I am arranging it in increasing order, right? So because there is a resonance in it, right? So after this second one, right? And after second, there's a, you can see there's a fourth one, right? This is methyl, right? And this is fourth, right? And after this, the first one, this is strongest base. That means it has a high basic character, right? So high basicity because of this plus I effect, right? And the basic character of this one is decreases because there is a resonance taking place in it, right? So this will be the order of the intermediate, right? So from weak to strong. That means this is our, you can see here, this is weak, fifth one is weak, right? And the first one is strong, right? First one is strong, right? So let's see, check our options. You can see here option, that means we are getting as a fifth, right? So here you can say the first cannot be our answer, second cannot be our answer, right? So now in the C and D, right? So fifth and fifth, right? So now you can see here the fifth, and after that third, and then second, and then fourth, and then fifth, first, right? So that C will be our answer, right? And the fifth, you can see there after fifth there comes third, right? So but here this is first, right? So this cannot be our answer, right? So now we are left with the correct answer, that is option C, right? So hope this answered your question. So thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.